Alright, so this is the Censtar guitar. Very nice. I did end up putting some new knobs on this. Just absolutely love this guitar. Set up perfectly when I got it. I can't even begin to tell you how many nice things there are about this guitar. I'm going to play some Led Zeppelin so you can hear the sound. I'm running this through a positive grid amp, one of the mini ones. So if the sound kind of sounds a little weird, that's why it's a little mini amp, but here it goes. So I can't tell you how great the action was that, and that's just the first three, the first three frets here. So definitely a great guitar. Like I mentioned in my review written, I would recommend getting this as a new guitar for somebody that has never played guitar before. They might only ever need this guitar, and even professionally, I still think it's a great guitar just because you got stainless steel frets. Which I should point out that when you buy one of these guitars, like I own Ibanez, I have a S model, I have a RG model, I have an SZ model, I have a Schecter, which I like that guitar. It's EMG-81 pickups. When you look at those guitars, they don't come with stainless steel frets. This is a $279 guitar with like rounded frets. I'm guessing they were pre-rounded because I don't think anybody worked on this after they were installed. So you think that would be a great idea to do pre-rounded frets and install that on the guitar rather than try to work on them while they're on the guitar. But I digress. I checked all the fret leveling with a fret rocker, nothing. Like, it was perfectly straight. The neck is incredibly straight with just a tiny bit of bow, forward bow, and it plays amazingly. Like, you can touch a fret without even plucking it and it plays. And you can just move up and down with some gain and it'll sustain that note without you actually plucking the string. So, for what it's worth, the pickups are really the only thing I'd say could be better on this guitar. I like hard rock, classical metal, and they just don't have a lot of oomph in when you're chugging, when you do the palm muting. But other than that, a little bit of EQ can fix that. I use a Bose EQ and drop down the 50 to 100 hertz range, and sounds pretty good. I do like the bridge. It's very surprising, very strange. It comes with a little magnetic crank so that you can tune and detune the strings, which is very unique. I don't really see too many guitars like that. Apart from that, you've got intonation control. You can use the top 2 screws here to do intonation. Actually, putting the strings on, I prefer to put the strings on something like this than I do on a regular guitar, because literally you're just dropping the string, the ball end up here, putting the string all the way down, and you just crank the little reel here when you put the string through the hole in one of these little tuners, and you're good to go. You just crank it up and it stays tight. So I haven't had to tune this thing in at least 4 or 5 hours. It's incredible. I remember I tuned a thing, and you know, I played the whole tune game where you kind of tighten it up to get the strings all straightened out, and then when I played the next day, still in tune. So I think a good bridge is one that can stay in tune like that. It says it's a bone nut. I think I believe that. It does feel like bone, doesn't feel like plastic. And this 0 fret, I think, is the reason, which is just 1 fret at 0, is one of the reasons why when I play open, it sounds very consistent. It's like as if I'm fretting 0, which is really strange to say, but that's what it is. So when you're playing open, open frets, it's very consistent with when you're playing other frets as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why the action can be set so low. So when I checked it, it was like 1.2 millimeters. There was a little bit of buzz on the lower E string, which, you know, when it's that low, I'd be very surprised if there wasn't buzz, but everything else was perfectly fine. With the action that low, I am getting a little sympathetic harmonization. When you play one string, it plays the other strings. I mean, you look at any other guitar, that can be pretty normal, especially when you're on low action. So it doesn't bother me that much. I just kind of mute it. But you can higher the action a little bit more to like a normal range. Like I know most people like 0.06, 0.05, as far as like when they're setting like 0.05 on the high E and then 0.06 on the low E, as far as your action is concerned. You can set that, and I think you'd be perfectly fine, maybe even a little touch higher than that. One of my other favorite things that you don't really see on a cheap guitar very often is your truss rod adjustment is a spoke, and that's amazing to me. Not having to deal with like a screw on the very top. You just take a small screwdriver. In my case, I took a hex wrench, and you can adjust that spoke and get the adjustment proper with your truss rod. I think I like that. It's a beautiful guitar. I mean, it's a very nice green color. The back is darker. If I could get the whole guitar like this, I would prefer that, but you know, quilted maple top, I'm not going to complain. Other than that, the one thing I did miss on my review, it didn't really occur to me, is the pickups are they're just a little angled downwards a little bit, and I know there's a way to fix that. I just didn't have the time for it. It sounded great. It didn't affect my playing, or didn't affect the sound very much for me, but that's something to note with this particular model guitar. For $279, you know, I'm not going to complain very much about a lot here, you know, especially it came already set up when I got it, you know, didn't come in tune, pretty much expected, but it came set up when I got it. So looking out, 5-piece neck, very nice neck. I'd say this is a C profile. I did check the fret radius, which isn't on the specs, which is really cool. You check out my video, you'll get that, or this video. It's 16. So that's the fret radius on here. So I pulled out the gauges, put it at 16. I checked the actual strings, and they were spot on with 16 as well. So like I said, Censtar, hats off to you. You guys are awesome. Quality with that, with the setup like that. I can tell when a manufacturer actually does have a lot of love for their products that they send out. And I don't even know how long this thing was sitting at Amazon. We could have gone through weather, just adjustments in heat, cold, hot, what have you, and it still came pretty close to perfectly set up, if not perfectly set up. So I don't plan on taking this to a luthier to look at. I think it's pretty good the way it is. And just to point out, I have 8 other guitars, and I can't stop playing this one. It's my favorite right now. So I'm gonna play another tune, and then that should be the end of the video. So you just heard what it sounds like with a little bit of dirt and some semi-acoustical sound, I guess. And then I'll play something else and go from there. So yeah, this is the CWT-1 in green. You should go out and buy it. You definitely won't be disappointed.